Is there really any debate on who the most dangerous player in the NFL is at this point? Now, don't get me wrong. Mahomes and Lamar have a track record that suggests they can each take over a game completely. But the guy who actually is taking over games completely and absolutely destroying defenses every week is Saquon Barkley, the Quadzilla himself. He is doing more damage to defensive coordinators' careers than Godzilla did to Tokyo. Barkley has saved this Eagles team from what felt like a slide into mediocrity and propelled them into that elite territory once again. After finishing second in their division last year, losing in the first round of the playoffs, and starting 2-2 this season, they are now on a 6-game winning streak on the back of Barkley's ridiculous talent. Truly, only a man with quads like his could do so much heavy lifting. The Eagles' offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, has totally transformed his offense to fit Barkley's insane talent. Moore called run plays at the 6th lowest rate for the Chargers last year and 16th over his 4 years in Dallas. But with a mythical creature like Quadzilla, he is calling runs at the highest percentage in the NFL by 5%. That's a massive gap, which just shows the Eagles' understanding of the talent they have in Barkley. He is averaging nearly 114 rushing yards a game and 135 yards from scrimmage, which would put him 10th in single-season rushing yards all time and 12th in single-season scrimmage yards. What he's doing is remarkable, and it's what a lot of us kind of expected when he was drafted second overall back in 2018. He did get off to a great start, finishing second in the NFL in rushing yards as a rookie, but after that he only had one season in the top 15. The Giants' offense had been so atrocious that not even a generational athlete at running back could save them. But it's interesting how you put Barkley on a pretty good offense behind a very good offensive line, and he's averaging 2 full yards per carry more than last season. So Barkley is benefiting greatly from the Eagles, and the Eagles are benefiting greatly from him, as the 6-game winning streak clearly highlights. But what is it that is actually so special about Barkley? Well, it's a lot of things, to be honest. His speed, lateral agility, and fluidity are top-notch even by NFL standards. His vision, power, and balance are all very, very good. And this is what makes Barkley stand out. You see, smaller, quicker types are able to go laterally but not downhill through people. And bruising types can get downhill but don't have the agility to threaten defenses in every direction. Barkley can do it all. Anyone you put in front of him, he's likely to run away or over them, or he might just say F it and hurdle the guy. For example, on a wide zone, Barkley will show off his vision, reading flashes of jersey color in the hole, and then use his incredible agility and fluidity to redirect and find a new lane just on instinct. He then uses his speed to burn up pursuit angles, picking up a huge gain. Of course, not all runs are 30-yard gains. Sometimes he uses his insane agility to just turn a bad play into a positive one. Against 99% of backs, this would be a tackle for no gain. But Barkley is not part of that 99%. He gives a little shimmy and then dances laterally in an instant to pick up 5. Here Barkley uses that same agility, but this time sets up his blocks geniusly to gain 7. He presses inside on this zone run before hitting a filthy jump cut, but it's important that he presses forward first. This 3 technique, number 93, does a good job initially to stack and hold his B-gap, but when Barkley appears to commit inside, 93 tries to shed to the A-gap, which creates a great running lane where 93 just left. Most backs can't get this far into traffic before cutting to an open lane, so they can't even attempt to set up blocks like Barkley, but he just has an amazing ability to jump cut 2 or 3 yards basically teleporting to the defense's weak point. He does this time and time again every week, where he suddenly goes from one gap to another and is able to immediately convert to a downhill running style when he finds his open hole. Now, when Barkley does break through that first level of defenders and can reach some open grass, that's where defenses are really screwed. Barkley recorded the third fastest speed as a ball carrier this season according to Next Gen Stats, at just barely under 22 miles per hour. He's also the only guy that appears more than once in the top 10, clocking both the 7th and 8th fastest times as well. The dude can absolutely fly, and he is constantly torching pursuit angles. Even when the plays don't finish in touchdowns, he uses his speed to just pick up yards that he shouldn't have because defenders underestimate his speed and take bad angles, allowing Barkley to create huge gains. But what's perhaps most remarkable about Barkley, who moves in a way that's rare even for the best athletes in the world, is the fact that he is this fast and agile at 233 pounds of dense muscle. He plays like Barry Sanders, but has the lower body of Earl Campbell. For you youngins who don't know Earl Campbell, I suggest watching his highlights after this video because he is awesome. Barkley has some of that same incredible power and contact balance in him as well. He's not necessarily known for that, and he definitely leans more toward the elusive Barry Sanders style, but watch Barkley this season. He's really been running angry. He's using those insane quads and 230-pound frame to run straight through people. He's been consistently picking up an extra yard or two at the end of his runs by just plowing through defenders' chest. And sometimes he picks up an extra 5 by just trucking a fool like he's back in high school. Ridiculous that he makes defenders bounce off of him like this so frequently when those defenders are getting paid millions to just make a tackle. But he doesn't always launch defenders off of him. No, sometimes he just decides to let them pile up on his back and he carries them for 14 yards. Seriously, he first makes contact on this play at the 35, and it took the 4 defenders, yes, 4 defenders, 14 yards before they could bring him down at the 49. Honestly, his combination of strength and contact balance alone would make him one of the better backs in the league, but those are not even his primary attributes. Okay, real quick, if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps my small channel a ton, and I appreciate all the help. Back to Barkley. At this point, you might be wondering, what are his weaknesses? Because he sounds like the perfect flawless running back. Well, that leads me to his receiving skills, which he is really good at too. So yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, he's basically perfect in 2024. He is great after the catch, thanks to all his skills listed above that allow him to pick up extra yards. He uses agility and acceleration in his route running to create easy separation, and he's extremely good at tracking the ball on deep shots downfield, which is definitely not typical of an early down back. Honestly, if I have to nitpick and critique one aspect of Barkley's game, it's that when he doesn't trust his O-line like at the Giants or even Penn State, then he tends to try and do too much dancing around and sometimes makes a bad play worse. But that's not even a problem with the Eagles, because he clearly has great trust in his line and he's looking to run north and south quicker than in past years. This season, Barkley is playing like an MVP, truly. Of course, MVP awards only go to quarterbacks, so don't expect him to win it. But he is having that spectacular of a season. The success he is having is even affecting the passing game, as they have had far more success in play action specifically. This is because the threat of Barkley is a real threat every play. He leads the NFL in 10+ yard carries, 15+ yard carries, and 40+ yard carries. Teams are loading the box with 8 defenders because they can't risk letting Barkley beat them, and even then he is beating them anyways. Thanks to Barkley's consistency, the Eagles are 5-1 in one-score games. They can lean on him in dogfights, and they can seal wins with long, clock-draining drives. Defenses just don't have answers for the Philly offense when they unleash Quadzilla. When you watch Barkley on the field, it's hard to believe he's actually real. When defenses watch him, they don't really believe it either. He is a superhero combination of speed, agility, and power. He ran a 40 and 4.4 flat, jumped a 41-inch vertical, and bench pressed 225 an insane 29 times at the combine. And yet somehow that still doesn't describe how freaky this guy is athletically with the ball in his hands. The Eagles with Saquon Barkley have become the most dangerous team in the NFL. He is the most dangerous player in the NFL. I'm telling you, there is no answer when you've got Barkley in the backfield with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at wideout. I could see this team destroying everyone in their path to a Super Bowl thanks to Kellen Moore and this O-line finally unleashing the full potential of Quadzilla. If you made it this far, then thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps my small channel a ton, and I will keep working to make more content like this. But I'm always looking for more ideas. So comment what scheme, team, or player you'd like to see me break down next. Also comment who you think the Super Bowl favorite out of all the NFC is. I'm curious where people are leaning at the moment. Well, that's all for now. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again soon.